We got some heavy hitting sales to go over. These sales just happened a couple days ago on eBay. I don't know if anybody else was watching these auctions, but I thought these were awesome. Just wanted to do a quick video going over these blue chip Silver Age cards that got sold in PSA 10 condition. 3 of the top Silver Age cards: Lion's Eye Diamond, Mox Diamond, and the Sliver Queen. Let's get into it. Okay, so getting started off here first with the Lion's Eye Diamond. So this Lion's Eye Diamond in PSA 10 condition sold for $1,200, $1,225. Near mint, they're running about $560, which basically puts the multiple about 2x. So we talked about Lion's Eye Diamond in the last market review video. And I talked about how this card's been coming under a little bit more pressure than other cards, downward pressure than other cards. Near mint, these are, like I said, these are running about $560. So a pretty low multiple for a PSA 10 reserved list Silver Age card like this. This is a really popular card. So a couple things to say about this. These were auctions, so generally auctions set like the floor of a card's price. I personally think that this card, if they were to list it, buy it now, it would probably be closer to $1,500 to $2,000. I personally think that that's what this card is worth. But you got to remember, now is a really tough time in the economy, and if you're auctioning off cards, there's a good chance that you're not going to be getting the full value of that card. So personally, I felt like whoever bought this card got a really good deal at $1,200. And I think that the buyer, if had they waited or listed it at a buy it now at $1,500 to $2,000, I think that they probably would have got it. I definitely would have been interested in that card in that price range. But yeah, Lion's Eye Diamond has not been quite pulling the same multiple as some of the other blue chip cards. Like the next one that we're going to look at. Let's hop over to that one. Mox Diamond. So this Mox Diamond sold for $1,630. Near mint, they're running about $645. Puts a multiple at 2.35. So still in that 2 to 3x range that most PSA 10s tend to go for, particularly for Silver Age reserve list cards. This card, I think, fetched a pretty good price. Once again, like the Lion's Eye Diamond, I feel like at buy it now, they probably could have got around $2,000 or maybe even more for this card. But hey, when you have to sell the card, you auction it, and you tend to get a lower price for that card. So you can look at this as more as like a floor for a PSA 10 Mox Diamond, the real lower end of the value range. What I would say, just like the Lion's Eye Diamond, times are tough right now. This is the absolute floor of this price. I think in a better market, I think that this card could go for $2,500 to maybe even closer to $3,000. This is, next to Gaia's Cradle, this is basically the top of the line Silver Age reserve list that you can buy. So I definitely feel like the buyer got a good price on this card. But it's really cool to see yet another PSA 10 Silver Age blue chip sell for well over $1,000, $1,630 for the PSA 10 Mox Diamond. These just like the Lion's Eye Diamond, they are down a bit, I think, from the all-time highs of last year. But compared to a lot of other asset categories, yes, this isn't as much as it would have fetched a year ago. A year ago, you'd probably be looking at, closer to $2,000 for this card. But seeing a little bit of retracement of a few $100, not too bad, considering the fact that other asset classes are down 30, 40, 50, 60%. Look at the price of Bitcoin is down 60 to 70%. I think Ethereum is down like more than 50%. That was at 4,200. Now it's at like 1,500. It's like a 60-something% loss. So you got to remember, even the S&P 500, it's a downtime for every asset class. So I wouldn't get too worried about the Mox Diamond selling for a little bit less, but now is the time to be looking at cards. Just like anything else, now is the time to be buying. You come across auctions like this, or eBay buy it nows for people who need the money, or even Facebook groups. I've talked a lot about Facebook marketplace groups, or Facebook groups, not marketplace. Facebook groups, there's people selling cards there too. You can find some really good deals right now for people who need to raise cash, and I think this is a great example of that. Moving on to the last one. I wanted to save this one for last. It's not the highest selling price, but it's the highest multiple for sure. This is the Sliver Queen from Stronghold, sold for $1,275. Near mint, they're running about 262, puts your multiple at 4x. This is a fantastic multiple for a card like this. A couple things to say about this one too. I personally think that this card is undervalued at just over $250. I remember, I think these were selling for like $350 to $400 last year. And I personally think that a card like this is going to have another spike in the next year or two, back into that $350 to $400 range. And then your multiple would go down to about 3 to 4x. But then by that time, I think the selling prices on these could get up to, $1,500 to $2,000, similar to the Lion's Eye Diamond. I really do think that this is an undervalued card, just because this is one of the ones that's the most playable in Commander. Unlike the Lion's Eye Diamond sees a bit of play in CEDH. Same with Mox Diamond, but these aren't like format staples or anything. But the Sliver Queen, if you want to build slivers, everybody wants a Sliver Queen in their deck. So I really think that this is an underrated, undervalued reserve list card. Even at $260, I could definitely see this card getting back up to that $350, $400 range in no time. But anyway, so those are the 3 cards I wanted to go over today. Just a short video, just a short recap. I was watching these auctions. I don't know if anybody else was, but I sometimes, even if I'm not buying into these cards, I still like to watch the auctions and see how they all ended up, just so I can kind of get a gist of how the market is working, and I can keep the records in my record book of market data. So that's going to get added to that book of record. And yeah, just kind of closing thoughts. The market is soft right now. There's a lot of good deals to be had right now. I think whoever bought these cards, honestly, all of them, they got a really good deal on it. I feel like the Sliver Queen, even though it was the highest multiple, I still feel like it was a great deal, because I think the price of this card is going to be coming up quick in the next year or two, when just economies in general start to rebound. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you're not already a subscriber here on Gem Mint MTG, hit that subscribe button and join in the fun, because I'm going to be talking about graded cards all the time here. All right, till next time, have a great one.